Welcome back to Buddhist philosophy, where awakened souls find the inner calling when the outside world becomes too loud. If you are a Pisces, or if you carry the soft frequency of Pisces within you, what comes next is not just a message, it's a sign, a signal resonating through the blind zone of energy that most people pass by unconsciously. But you are different. You're here, and you feel it, even if you can't yet name it. The dates, April 19th and 20th, are not harmless numbers on a calendar. They are moments when the universe will whisper something important into your ear. Stop, listen, be cautious, because a single mistake in this moment could shift the course of everything you've worked so hard to build. Nostradamus once wrote in a quatrain, buried deep among faded pages of prophecy, "When Jupiter casts shadow upon deep waters, light is strangled between shores of illusion. The one who does not wait will step into the abyss." And the haunting part is, Pisces, you are the sign of deep water. You are not the one standing at the edge, you are the vastness itself. In astrology, Neptune, your ruling planet, is currently in a state of flux, opposed by both the Moon and Mercury. This creates a triangle of energy that brings mental fog, emotional disarray, and the subtle trap of illusion disguised as intuition. This is not the time to trust the first feeling. This is the time to sit down, take a deep breath, and step back, because if you rush forward, you won't realize you're walking into a mirage, not a path. Pisces energy is already delicate and sensitive, but precisely because of that, you are the only one subtle enough to feel the undercurrents beneath the sea of vibration. And if you've been sensing something shifting, unclear but undeniable, you are not wrong. The universe is redrawing your map. And these 2 days are silent punctuation marks in the process. Not everyone gets a warning before stepping off the edge. Not everyone has the chance to hear a bell before the door closes. But you do, and now that you're here, the only thing you need to do is stay still, prepare a quiet space, a cup of tea, and let all other voices dissolve. Now is the moment to listen to yourself, not from your mind, but from the heart bathed in light. If you've reached this moment, do one small thing that holds great power. Hit the subscribe button on Buddhist philosophy, because that is not just a click, it is a commitment, an energy activation, a declaration to the universe. I am ready to awaken. I choose clarity. I open myself to prosperity and true light. Every subscription is a vibration sent out into the space, and the universe always responds to frequencies sent from the highest state of awareness. When you choose to walk with this channel, you're not just receiving information, you are stepping into an energy field where souls like yours are connected, healed, and uplifted. Tap a heart on this video as a way of telling the universe you've heard the call. If you feel something rising within, a resonance, a sense of belonging, or even just a subtle energetic pulse, let it guide you, because behind those first gentle ripples is the doorway you've been waiting for all along. Part 1, the astrological landscape and dangerous energies for Pisces. On April, there are days when everything inside you suddenly feels different, even though the world outside remains as calm as usual. But beneath that stillness, you can feel something shifting, brushing gently against the deeper layers of your unconscious, like a nameless breeze slipping through every crack in your mind. April 19th and 20th are 2 such days, and those with refined intuition like Pisces will feel it most clearly. But you won't be able to name it, because this isn't something you can see with your eyes, only sense with another level of awareness. What Buddhism calls mindfulness in an undisturbed mind. In the astrological map right at this moment, Neptune, the planet representing emotions, intuition, and dissolution, is under opposition from the Moon and Mercury. The Moon activates hidden memories, unhealed wounds. Mercury stirs up a constant stream of thought, tricking you into believing you're listening to your soul, when in truth, it's just echoes from the past. When Neptune is squeezed between these 2 sources of energy, Pisces becomes like a delicate sailboat caught in a whirlpool, thinking it's sailing toward the light, but actually drifting into fog it doesn't recognize. The Buddha once said, "When the mind is not steady, all appearances become distorted." And it's precisely in those moments that we are most prone to misunderstanding, mistaking emotion for intuition, anger for truth, a vague signal for a calling of destiny. But destiny never calls you through chaos. Destiny comes through clarity, and gently, like a breath. So if something pushes you to act impulsively during these 2 days, know this: that is not the light. That is the test. Nostradamus once wrote, "When the stars move against their course, false light will cling to impatient hearts, leading them toward darkness wrapped in promises of gold." That's not just prophecy, it's truth. And if you are Pisces, you are one of the souls most vulnerable to having your perception distorted at this moment. Avoid major financial decisions. Be wary of sweet words, rushed promises, and temptations that make you feel like you're standing before a rare opportunity. When intuition is clouded by unhealed emotion, you hear what you want to hear, not what you truly need to hear. And when that happens, even a single nod can spiral into a chain of consequences you never saw coming. That's why these 2 days are a time to pause, step away from the frantic rhythm of life, and return to your breath. If you can, spend 10 minutes each morning in silent meditation, nothing complicated. Just sit still, drop your shoulders, and watch the breath move through your nose. Each breath is a doorway inward. When the mind is quiet, you will clearly see what is real and what is just a ghost created by the mind's illusions. Write down every emotion you experience during these 2 days, not to analyze, but to understand, because what you write down is also how you step out of the unconscious loop. Write to see more clearly, write so you don't get swept away, and if possible, keep an aquamarine stone with you. Its soft blue tone isn't just symbolic of water, it also represents a calm mind. Legend says Nostradamus always kept a sea green stone near him during meditation, not for beauty, but to keep himself from being pulled into false visions. Maybe a stone won't protect you from the world, but it may help you see clearly which part is real and which is only fog. If you're still here listening, you are clear enough not to miss this signal. And if you feel a certain resonance in your heart, then act on it, like a small sacred ritual to mark that resonance. Click subscribe to Buddhist philosophy as a declaration to the universe. I choose awakening. I choose to see clearly. I choose the light. It's not just a subscription, it's a commitment. And every commitment made from the heart, the universe always answers with a worthy opportunity. Tap like if you're sensing a shift in your inner frequency. Comment below, "I've chosen to awaken before April 19th and 20th, as a way to anchor your consciousness and not be swept into turbulent waters." And if you know someone else who may be on the edge of this chaos, share the video. You might just be the hand that pulls them away from a fateful misstep. These are not days for action, these are days for observation. And the one who observes in silence is the one who moves forward with clarity. Part 2. What could one mistake be? There are mistakes that make no sound, but quietly fracture entire parts of a life. They don't arrive with a storm, they come with a nod, a decision that seems small. A moment when you think, it's probably fine, but in that moment, the door has already begun to close behind you, and you don't even realize it. On April 19th and 20th, Pisces is the soul standing at the edge between intuition and illusion. On the surface, everything may appear smooth. Sudden opportunities show up. Someone reaches out, inviting you into a new chapter. Emotions arise that feel like awakenings. But when astrology touches this moment, it reveals something different. This is not opportunity. This is a test. And if you cross the threshold without realizing you're being tested, you'll fall back into a cycle of lessons you thought you'd already completed. The opposition between Neptune and Mercury creates a blurry field of energy, where every signal is distorted through the filter of unhealed emotions. You hear your inner voice, but is that truly your intuition? Or is it the echo of old fears disguised in a costume of light? You see an opportunity, but is it truly a gift from the universe, or an illusion pulling you further from yourself? Buddhism offers a beautiful image. A thirsty traveler in the desert sees a shimmering pool ahead. They run toward it, thinking salvation is near, but when they arrive, it's only a mirage. And what breaks them isn't the heat, it's the hope placed in the wrong place. On these 2 days, Pisces is especially vulnerable to this experience. You may trust someone who isn't trustworthy. Invest in something not yet ready. Walk away from what's right, simply because of a surge of unresolved anger. And later you may ask yourself, why did everything fall apart when I thought I was doing the right thing? One of Pisces' most common spiritual mistakes is confusing emotion with truth. But emotion is a wave, Truth lies at the ocean floor. If you live only in the waves, you'll be swept away again and again. Only when you learn to dive down, where the water is still, where the noise fades, will you finally see what is real and what is illusion. And that is the hardest thing for Pisces, to be in the element you know best, and yet no longer recognize what is reflection and what is reality. Nostradamus once left a haunting warning: those who follow the light in the wind will lose their way in the mist. The danger doesn't lie in the light, it lies in whether that light is real or just a flicker born from emotional flames. These emotions, if not guided by wisdom, become the very blade you unknowingly use to harm yourself. Astrologically, on these 2 days, Pisces isn't just influenced by Neptune, it's being pulled by powerful intellectual planetary energies, putting you in a state of "I think I understand." You think you've awakened. You think this time you're wise enough. But that thought, if not grounded in inner stillness, becomes the most dangerous illusion of all. That's why you must be radically humble, not to others, but to yourself. You must accept that you can be wrong. You can be misled by your most beautiful beliefs. You can love someone deeply, and they still may not be meant for you. You can trust what feels like powerful intuition, and it still may be coming from a wound, not from wisdom. In Buddhist philosophy, the highest practitioners aren't those who know the most, but those who can keep their heart empty. An empty heart doesn't mean hollow. It means a mind that doesn't declare truth until it's seen the roots. And to reach that stillness, you must step away from all impulsiveness, all urgency, all boiling emotion, especially during these 2 days when the universe is testing you more clearly than ever. If you feel an urge to act, quickly pause. Someone is pushing you toward a decision you haven't had time to weigh. Step back. Your heart is pounding for something that looks so right. Wait one more breath, because the truth never rushes you. It waits, calm, steady, and invites you with freedom, not pressure. If you've ever made a mistake driven by emotion, if you've ever placed trust in the wrong hands and paid for it with your belief in yourself, then please remember, this time you get to do it differently. You already know. You've already heard. You already feel what's approaching. Don't let it slip past you again. Right under this video, write, "I choose to pause and see clearly," because when you write it, you're not just telling yourself, you're declaring to the universe that you've grown, you're walking a new path, and the universe will respond with a new dimension. One where you no longer learn through pain, but through light. Tap like if you feel ready. Subscribe to Buddhist philosophy if you wish to continue this journey, not alone. Share this video with someone you know standing at a crossroads, because one timely reminder may be all it takes to keep them safe on the shore, rather than lost in a place with no way back. This is not a time to prove anything. This is a time to step back, be silent, and wait for the fog to lift before moving forward. The one who can do that is the one who truly shapes their destiny. Part 3. How to protect your energy during these 2 days. You don't always have to fight the storm. Sometimes, the lesson doesn't lie in resistance, but in the ability to protect yourself in stillness. April 19th and 20th are such a time. Souls like Pisces, who carry soft energy and easily dissolve into others, must be especially cautious. Not because the outside world is too intense, but because the boundary between you and that world is thinner than ever. When Neptune, Pisces' ruling planet, is in opposition and vibrating through the astrological fog, the emotional energy field becomes disoriented. You feel like you're drifting. You don't know if you're moving forward or just floating away. You might mistake the trembling of your heart for a voice from the soul. You might think you're in love, when, in truth, you're just trying to fill a void. You think you've let go, but really you've only suppressed it, and it will rise again stronger. In a moment of such inner chaos, you don't need advice, you need space, a slowing down, an anchor point amid the emotional ocean's turbulence. And that begins with the simplest action: sitting still. You don't need anyone beside you. You don't need a reason. Just sit. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Allow everything that's been spinning to settle on its own. Buddhism calls this internal mindfulness meditation. Not to achieve anything, but to stop at the right time. Like someone walking in thick fog, needing to stand still to see clearly. On the mornings of April 19th and 20th, if you can give yourself 10 minutes to sit in silence, You will find yourself protected without needing to do a thing. In that space, your true intuition will quietly return, not as a loud voice, but as silent clarity. At the same time, let your pen become your companion. Write down your feelings. Write the thoughts swirling in your head. Write without structure, without grammar, without perfection. Just write so that the chaos inside has a place to exit. Those words will be proof of a mind learning to self-heal. And when you finish, you'll feel lighter, clearer, more grounded. Sometimes, not saying anything to anyone doesn't mean you're strong. It means you're holding everything in until it bursts in ways you can't control. Writing is the release valve that lets your emotions out gently, without breaking anything. Also, let a spiritual symbol of protection walk with you these 2 days. A sea blue stone, aquamarine, is more than jewelry, it's an energy shield. Its color represents water purification and a calm mind. In ancient tales, people carried aquamarine across dangerous seas because they believed it kept the spirit clear amid chaotic waves. Here's something few know. Nostradamus, the most mysterious prophet in history, always kept a sea blue stone with him during his meditations before writing his quatrains. He never explained why, but ancient manuscripts note, when his mind neared the edge between dream and waking, that stone was the only thing he held on to. Perhaps it was his anchor through invisible realms no ordinary human could touch. And if you too are passing through such a chaotic, energetic realm, you might need something to keep you steady. All these things, meditation, writing, a talisman, aren't superstition. They are rituals of awareness. They are how you create a protective circle for yourself. And each circle must be sealed with a clear action. So if you've read this far, if your heart resonates with these words, pause for a few seconds, click subscribe to Buddhist philosophy. As a declaration to the universe, I choose awakening. I choose to see clearly. I choose the light. It's not just a subscription, it's a commitment. And every commitment made from the heart, the universe always answers with a worthy opportunity. Tap like if you're sensing a shift in your inner frequency. Comment below, I am protecting my energy from all chaos. As a declaration to the universe. When you write it, you're not just telling the world, you're sending a signal to the deepest layer of your being that you are ready not to be led by anything that no longer serves you. Share this video with someone else who may be on the edge of this chaos. These are not days for action. These are days for observation. And the one who observes in silence is the one who moves forward with clarity. Part 4. Strange signs will appear. Not everything precious arrives with a loud sound. Some things can only be heard by those who are quiet enough. And on April 19th and 20th, if you are a Pisces or carry the energy of Pisces, you'll start to notice them, gently, unclear, but your soul will know, no explanation needed. At the moment when Neptune is lost in the astrological fog, emotion and intuition merge as one. The boundary between the inner and outer world disappears. The universe stops speaking to you in human language. It speaks in signs, in symbols, in moments that seem meaningless but make your heart tremble. It could be a white butterfly drifting onto your balcony while you're meditating, a wind chime softly ringing in the middle of a windless afternoon, a dream about water, the ocean, a deep river with no shore, a repeated conversation from the past that makes you feel like you've lived this moment before, the gaze of a stranger that reminds you of an old version of yourself, one you thought had long gone quiet. You won't be able to explain it logically, but your heartbeat will slow when it happens. Your soul will know something is being called forth, and you'll understand you are not alone. An invisible hand is guiding you through the mist, silently, but persistently. In astrology, Pisces is the only sign naturally connected to extrasensory frequencies. You don't need to learn how to trust the universe, but trust already runs in your blood. What you need to learn is how to distinguish between a true signal and a projection created by a restless mind. Buddhism calls these signs temporary true appearances. They reveal themselves when you don't try to understand. But if you try to interpret, to force a definition, to turn what you feel into a conclusion, you've already moved away from it. Signs are not meant to be solved. They are meant to be noticed, to be honored with stillness, to be received. Nostradamus once referred to this in a verse rarely cited. The sound of wind and the soft wings of an angel, these are signs within the fog, meant for those who dare to believe. The line feels light, but it's in that very softness that the true power lies. Because only those who are still enough can feel the presence of angel wings. Only those who dare to believe will see what needs to be seen. And if you are sensing something you can't name but that is undeniably real, then congratulations, you are receiving a signal. And you've done better than you think. You don't have to prove anything, just keep walking with an open heart. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect, it only asks you to be honest with yourself. Everything else will come on its own, but don't keep those signs to yourself. Write them down. Acknowledge them as sacred messages. And if you feel ready, share them beneath this video, not just to connect, but to declare, I've seen, I've recognized, and I'm ready to move forward. Write that sentence as a vibration marker. I've seen the signs, I'm on the right path. When you write it, you awaken a positive current within yourself. And sometimes, that one line you leave behind becomes the spark for another Pisces soul. One lost in the fog, unaware they were being called. Click like if you feel something inside you is awakening, gently, but truly. Subscribe to Buddhist philosophy as a promise to yourself that you will no longer overlook the small signs, that you will walk in awareness, with trust and with a heart wide enough to hold even the things you can't yet explain. If you know someone else walking the same path, confused, standing at an unnamed threshold, send this video to them. Say nothing more. Just send. If they're meant to receive it, they will understand. And if they understand, you've planted a seed of light in a soul that needs direction. Maybe nothing special seems to happen during those 2 days. But if you stay still and observe, if you choose not to react but simply to witness, you'll realize the universe is always whispering, always signaling, always beside you. It's just a matter of whether you are still enough to listen. These signs don't come to make you mystical. They come to remind you, you are loved, you are protected, you are guided, even when you don't realize it. And if you can honor those soft touches, you won't need to lose yourself too deeply to learn your next lesson. Stay in peace. Observe. Trust. Everything you need will arrive right on time in gentleness, in simplicity, and in light. Final note. If you're still here, still breathing in the silence after each word, then it means you've passed through the first layer of the fog of fate. You've chosen to stay with yourself, not running away when things begin to feel deeper, quieter, and more real. That's not easy, but you've done it. And your very presence in this moment, not rushing, not resisting, has already started to shift something powerful in your energy field. April 19th and 20th are not days to fear, not days to avoid, but days to realize that every wave carries a lesson, but you don't have to be swept away by it. You can sit on the shore, observe, smile, and understand. And when you understand, the wave dissolves on its own. Old karma no longer needs to return. Every test becomes a bridge, leading you to a new level of awareness. Astrology doesn't predict the future, it simply shows you where your energy is most vulnerable, and so does Buddhism. The Buddha never promised what would come, he only taught how to see, how to breathe, how not to be dragged away by sweet illusions. And if you are carrying the energy of Pisces, whether born under it or just passing through a resonant phase, then this is the time you need inner clarity the most. You don't need to change your whole life in these 2 days. You don't need to fix everything you've ever done. You only need to do one thing right. Stay clear enough not to make the same mistake again. That alone is a revolution. Because most suffering doesn't come from the first mistake. It comes from not stopping after that mistake. We keep pushing forward, trying to make it right with another move, and then we get it wrong again until we're exhausted. But you are different now. You're slowing down. You're beginning to see the signs. You're beginning to understand. Peace isn't a destination. It's a state you can choose, even when everything around you is still unsettled. If you feel something shifting within you, even just a little, let it be marked by a small action. Click subscribe to Buddhist philosophy, not because you need more information, but because you are sending out a signal that you choose the path of awareness. Every subscription is a spiritual step forward, a quiet promise to yourself. From today, I will no longer act unconsciously. Tap like if you've ever been misled by emotion. Comment below, I choose light. I choose peace. Not for anyone else, but for yourself to hear. When you write it, your energy begins to shape a new direction, and everything aligned with that direction will begin to find you. If you know someone else who's also unsteady, someone caught in the space between intuition and illusion, share this video with them. They might not understand right away, but sometimes a video, a word, a few seconds of background music is all it takes to keep someone from drifting too far. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be honest. Honest with your feelings, honest with your desires, honest with your fears, honest with your true intuition. And if you can do that, everything meant for you will come. You won't have to chase it anymore. April 19th and 20th will come and go like any other day. But you will not be the same. You now have eyes to see, a heart to believe, a mind that knows when to act and when to be still. Remember this: if even one person can hold light in their heart, the entire space around them begins to soften. And today that person is you.